Hello and welcome back to my bookish euphoria. My name is Danny, and on this channel I share nothing but bookish content. If you like that type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow for more. In today's video, I am doing none other than the mid-year freakout tag. So you will be seeing me referencing my stats here on my phone. So if I'm looking off screen, I'm looking at my phone to make sure that I'm giving you the proper information. Jumping straight into it, I just want to let you know that so far in 2026, I have read 196 books. I primarily listen to my books through audiobooks because a girl stays busy and we can't cut out reading just because I'm busy. So if you're one of those that don't believe that audiobooks is reading, you can go ahead and unsubscribe and leave my page entirely. So I normally listen to my books at 1.75 and 2 times the speed. I also use the assistant reader on my phone, which I have an iPhone, so I use the read to speak feature, which allows me to increase the speed up to 2 times the speed, which I like the 1.75 speed. All right, let's jump into it. First question, your favorite fiction book so far? Without a doubt, I would go with Don't Tell Me How It Ends. This book I received as an ARC, but ultimately I did listen to the audiobook. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was engrossed with it. Every time I picked it up, I was bombarded with emotions. By the end of the book, I was definitely shaking my hand, getting all the goosebumps because I got all the feels. But some may think that it lands on a cliffhanger, but I feel like it just leaves the story open to how the relationship progresses. But I love the ups and downs, and of course, as I previously said in my last video, I love a man that falls first. Next, there is my favorite nonfiction. Now, I am going to tell you here and now, I don't read nonfiction. I don't read it. I deal with so much stuff in the real life that I choose not to read nonfiction. I am open to reading memoirs, but I don't know. I just have not stuck my toe in it. I really have not dived into reading nonfiction books. Somebody in the comments, sell it to me. Give me a good nonfiction book that I can read. Next, there is best sequel. So most of the books that I have read have been sequels in series, but it's more so they could be standalones. It's not like you have to read the book in order. However, I would have to choose the Danger series, the second book in the Danger series. Hey, editing me. I completely mixed up the books. Intrigued by Danger is the third book in the series. However, I read the second book in the series, which is Captivated by Danger. That's as far as I've gotten anyway. So to me, the writing has gotten a lot better for the author compared to the first book, and then the situation got a lot better in the second book. I do like it to see a man that lays down the rules and then ends up breaking his own rules. So that's really why I enjoyed that one. So overall, that one is the best one in a series that just so happens to be a sequel. New releases you haven't read yet. So The Summer Girlfriend is one of the books that I would have to say that's high up there on my priority list. I do have a little FOMO because everybody has read it and I haven't, so I am looking forward to reading it. I am a fan of Christina Forrest. I think honestly, when I got really big into romance, I stumbled onto her last series, and I think I read the second book first, but I had The Neighbor Favor, but I ended up reading the second book first because I had access to the audiobook. But love her writing style. We'll continue reading more books by her. Most anticipated release, I really can't tell you that because I'm not into the bookish scene like that to know, okay, I'm looking forward to a new release set in the third. I just see it on social and people are counting down to it, and I just put it on my TBR. I really don't keep up with the Joneses. I just sometimes when I'm filtering through my story graph, I'll see recommendations, but I really don't keep up with them. Hey, editing me. I don't know where I got Don't Fall from, but that's neither here nor there. What I do want to say is that I am very curious in The Butcher Legacy. However, I have not made it to the second book, but I'm very interested in how this cat and mouse plays out. Next, there is biggest disappointment. I have a few of those. I can't just choose one. We'll start off with my most recent, which is A Story for Two. It was a good story, especially for an indie author. And I don't think this is her first release, but it's my first purchase by this author. It just moves so quickly. Not a big deal. The writing style was kind of blunt. I don't know how else to describe it. It was just like he went to the store, that type of writing. But the biggest, and I could look past that, but the biggest thing that got me about this book is that the author chose for the female main character have somewhat of a love triangle. I wouldn't say it was second chance that she was already broken up. I really think that this is like a love triangle. And to me, I was just like, I don't like how you had a good man. He's a good man, Savannah. Good man. You moved on from this man from high school who, even though I'm not saying that you can't date somebody who's not on your level, if he's not on your level, but he has not the potential, let's not say that, but he has the drive, and he's not complacent in being stuck where he's at, then yes, I say give him a second chance, because ultimately he'll grow and do bigger things. But you have this person who is trying to gaslight you because you're studying for an exam to get your degree, and no. It just irked my soul, the situation that the author put the female main character in. I know that this happens on several occasions, but he's a good man, Savannah. Why would you leave that good man? Next there is Don't Let the Forest In. This one was a fantasy. I read nothing but great reviews about it, but I just could not get into it. I didn't want to DNF it because it was kind of a good fast read, but at the end of the day it was real slow, then fast paced, and I grasped what was going on, but at the same time it was just like, I hate a book where I get a headache from reading it. Y'all can have that. Next there is Magic for Liars. I would say the same thing. It was slow then fast. She did all this investigation in this book about who did this and what, and she knew who did it. And I know that you have to investigate, but it just seemed like she was just doing too much. I'm not a detective, but it just seemed like she was just doing too much when she ultimately could prove that who she thought it was the culprit. Don't you pick a couple suspects and investigate them? Just like, it was just so drawn out. Next there is Tender as the Flesh. I just don't know what to say about that book. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Same thing with Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner gave me the same exhaustion that Magic for Liars gave me, but the same confusion that I got with Tender as the Flesh. But they just really didn't live up to hype that most people were hyping them up to. Maybe I just wasn't critically reading, because I read for fun, babe. I read for fun. Next there is The Biggest Surprise. Definitely will have to say, don't tell me how it ends. That's one of the books that I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to talk about this book over and over and over and over and over, because if he wanted to, he would. Then there is So You Know It's Real. Same thing. If he wanted to, he would. That is the type of energy that you see in both of these books. And I went in just reading them. One was an arc that I had to read. The other one was just, audiobook. Let me listen to it. And they turned out to be one of the best books I've read so far. Put them on your TBR. Next, there is favorite author. I would definitely have to go with Alexandra Warren. The latest book I've read by her was Only in the Summer. I might be butchering that. And then Tasha L. Harrison. That one is If She Says Yes. Read my face. Only for the Summer is a forced proximity, while If She Says Yes is an age gap forbidden romance. Next, there is new favorite character. I'm not that type that has a favorite character, so I had to go and look at the books that I've read and the characters that stood out to me. So I would definitely say Mr. Roe Jackson from Don't Tell Me How. Say it with me, because if he could, he would. Next one is a book that made me cry. I finally stuck my toe into the water and read Binding 13. I was so emotionally exhausted reading that book. I was angry, sad. It was just, I felt so many emotions. Happiness at the end, but I just feel like it's short-lived. It's just, these kids should not be dealing with what they're dealing with. I know that some kids deal with very heavy things. I had a very hard start to my teenage years, but they had it bad. I don't even know if I want to continue the series. And then with Don't Tell Me How It Ends, it wasn't necessarily a third act breakup, right? It was more so making the main character face her emotions. And it was just breathtaking just to see that transpire over the pages. Loved it. Next, there is a book that made me happy. I would have to say, What a Match. I don't know why. And it's probably because it's the brother's best friend. That is one of those tropes. I will eat it up every time. I love a brother's best friend. I don't know why. I read a couple when I first started back reading. I was just, I love this. It's just like forbidding aspect, but at the same time, y'all know each other. Oh, I love it. But it was forced proximity. It was just so enjoyable. But if you want to know more about the book, of course, I'll include it into another video of trope romances that you should read right now. Next, there is Best Beautiful Book You've Bought. I judge books by their covers. I purchase books based on their covers. So this was kind of hard because I had to actually go and look. So I would say Girls Who Play Dead, because I'm currently reading this one. Gorgeous, and the palette is lifted. It's raised off the page. Love it. Next, there is Year of the Myrrh. I'm so ready to read this one. And some of the details, like the tentacles are lifted or raised up, and the spear. I love raised covers. I don't know why. The lettering, even the lettering's a little raised. So Year of the Myrrh. Year of the Myrrh. And then lastly, none other than I, Medusa. I think I'm gonna use my Audible credit and read this in August. I don't know yet. But those are my favorite books I've purchased this year so far. I don't really keep up with my books when I purchase them, but I just know those are new editions, and I would have to say, yes, those are my favorite. And lastly, books I still need to read. Girl, pick one. I have so many, but just looking on this shelf, I definitely want to read Cursebound. Yes, that's a priority. As I said, The Year of the Myrrh, I, Medusa, Bloodmarked. Gotta continue that series. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head. The goal for this year is reading what I have on these shelves. That's a priority. Ever since 75 Book was introduced, I tend to do 75 days of tracking how well I'm doing with reading ARCs and how well I'm doing with reading my physical, digital, and Audible libraries. Definitely the goal for this year is anything that I have purchased, we're prioritizing. And there you have it. That's my mid-year Freakout tag. So if you read any of these books that I've mentioned, of course, drop in the comments what you think about these books so we can have some discussion, especially those that I was on the fence with. But we still have a few months left in the year, and you never know, my favorites might change, my disappointments might even change. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Of course, I would like for you to comment below what you liked or what you disliked about this video. And of course, stay tuned for more.